All right, I call to order. Can you guys hear me? Call to order. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Call to order the regular scheduled meeting of the 34th Dearborn City Council for September 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. I'd like to ask everyone to silence their cell phones as to not disturb the meeting. We have set up overflow rooms in both areas and both are staffed for any people here to speak to the City Council regarding city business. This time, Mr. Clerk, can we have the roll?
Yes, Councilmember Enos.
Here.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Here.
Councilmember Abraham.
Here.
Councilmember Paris.
Here.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Here.
Councilmember Herrick.
Here.
Council President Serini.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, this time I'd like to turn the meeting over to Councilman Gary Enos. Gary?
Thank you. It is my honor to introduce Pastor Colleen Neiman from St. Paul Lutheran Church, who will deliver tonight's invocation. I invite all who are able to please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I invite us all to breathe in, to breathe out. We've come from a lot of different places, had busy days, and may we settle ourselves into a time of prayer. O God, it is your will to hold your beloved creation in peace. Let the design of your great love shine upon our struggles and sorrows. Give peace to each and every one you have created. Peace in our homes, peace in our community and country, peace among nations, peace in our world, and peace in our hearts. Lead us from hate to love, from war to peace, so that all may be safe, clothed, and fed. Bless and guide the deliberations tonight in our Dearborn City Council meeting. Help us to work together with mutual respect, and in these times of opportunity, to build bridges and bring grace. And I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Pastor. Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the first item of business?
Item 4, resolution by Council President Pro Tem Herrick, supported unanimously, acknowledging Pastor Colleen Neiman for her exceptional work as pastor at St. Paul Lutheran Church and wishing her congratulations on her upcoming retirement and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. It's an honor to take a moment today to recognize Pastor Colleen Newman for her incredible impact that she's made not only within the walls of the St. Paul Lutheran Church, but also throughout the entire Dearborn community. Her years of dedicated service and her leadership to the Dearborn area interfaith network and the grace in which she has guided so many have been blessed to have her with us tonight. As she enters into retirement, we celebrate her legacy of faith, kindness, and unity, and we thank her deeply for her helping strengthen in the spirit of togetherness throughout our city, and we wish her to continue joy and good health in her next chapter in life. Councilwoman Pro Temp Leslie Herrick brought this forward. Councilwoman Herrick, would you like to make a few words?
Yes, please. Thank you, Council President. Pastor Neiman is a treasured member of our community here in Dearborn. For decades, she has served as the faith leader at St. Paul Lutheran Church. But beyond that, she's been involved personally in the community. I had the good fortune to meet her probably about 10 years ago because of some of the things she's doing in Dearborn. Council President mentioned that she is involved with the Dearborn Area Interfaith Network. That network is something special here in Dearborn, where faith leaders of all different faiths are welcome to come together to join to learn from each other. And historically, they've worked together to do an event, usually during Martin Luther King, for celebrating Martin Luther King, from whatever faiths they represent. And then they go back to their communities and share what is the event that's being held. Also addressing things that are happening locally and in the world, and having deep conversations about those things that impact the people here in Dearborn. She's originally from Wisconsin, and we had the good fortune that she found her way here after attending college in Iowa and in Ohio, and then attending seminary in Detroit. She met her husband at St. Paul Lutheran Church, and together they have 3 grandchildren. He had 2 adult daughters, and so they spend time with those grandchildren. And the impact that she's had being involved in things like Blessings in a Backpack, where food is delivered to families, students, Dearborn Public School students, to help them get through the weekend. The Dearborn Rotary Club, where she served as president, and I am honored to serve with her there as a leader with the Rotary Club of Dearborn, serving in Dearborn and doing projects that benefit people around the world. And we're going to miss her dearly here in Dearborn, and I know her congregation is going to miss her very much as well. But of course, wish her all the best in her next adventures with family and traveling and all the passions that she enjoys outside of her faith work here in Dearborn. And on a personal note, I just say thank you, Colleen, for everything that you've done for our community.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Okay, at this time, we have a certificate of citation, but we have one other one to give out, and then what we'll do is we'll break down, the council come down to make sure we can present it to them and give them their citation. Mr. Clerk, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item number 5, resolution by Councilmember Hammoud, supported unanimously, recognizing Ali Maroy of the Economic Development Inspection Team for his outstanding service and professionalism, and requesting immediate effect.
The City Council recently received messages from a resident complimenting Ali's courteous and respectful conduct while performing his duties as an inspector. Ali exemplifies the city's renewed commitment to public service, placing residents and the quality of service at the center of all our work. We extend our sincere appreciation to Ali in embracing his approach and the service model that is expected here at the City of Dearborn. This was brought forward by Councilman Mustafa Hammoud. Councilman Hammoud, would you like to speak on it?
Yeah, so I think when we first took office, we used to talk a lot about our building department, which has had a little bit of a troubled past, you could say. And even when we got here, it still wasn't necessarily where we wanted it to be, and a lot of it had to do with kind of the customer service expectations, I think, that had never actually been in place. So under the leadership of Jordan Twardy and even some of our newer building officials, I think we've seen such a big improvement that for the first time, we're actually getting compliments on building inspectors that we never used to receive before. So I think it just kind of goes to show that good leadership can create a positive change in culture in a city department, especially in the city where we are hiring people who care about the residents and who will help guide them to a solution, instead of kind of what we used to hear a lot of complaints about and discuss all the time at council, which was, how can we improve this building department? What do we need to do? Who do we need to hire? And things like that. So I'm not sure if we have anyone from ECD who want to talk about our new customer service standards, but I know it's something that we've talked about a lot here at council, and we really appreciate the work that they've been doing to improve it.
Thank you, Councilman Hammoud. All right, any objection, unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. We're going to break down and come to the front to give the pastor and then Ali their certificates, and then return to the normal business. So we'll break down here. Sorry. Pastor, right here. You get the best time. Perfect time. Wish you the best. Thank you so much. Great job. Why don't you stand in front? Are you guys good? All right, let's go.
Easy there.
Thank you. I need this. All right, thank you very much for that brief presentation. At this time, we are going to move to the next item of business. Mr. Clerk?
Item number 6, a resolution by Council President Sereni, supported unanimously, offering condolences to the family of Sarah Ahmed Masharab and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Sarah Mosharraf of Dearborn suddenly passed away September 9, 2025, at the very tender age of 23 years old. She is the beloved daughter of Ahmed and Catherine and the granddaughter of Ibrahim Turfi, Haji Majdi Harani Turfi, and Haj Hassan Mosharraf, and Haji Zainab Azadeen Mosharraf. Sarah was the sister of Hassan Maroy, and a beloved niece of Asad Turfi, Ali Turfi, and the late Muhammad Turfi. Sarah leaves behind her loving fiance, Ali Bazi. Sarah was a bright, kind-hearted person who we remembered for her radiant spirit, strong faith, and devotion to her family. She was deeply rooted in the community and was known for her warm nature, sincere character, and unwavering generosity. Love she had for her family and her friends and community was apparent. Her character and reputation will live on through them, and the values she instilled in them will continue to shape their lives. Our hearts go out to Sarah Ahmed Mosharraf's family and friends during this incredible, difficult time, and may they find strength and comfort and peace with one another. Her spirit will forever remain in our hearts, and her legacy will continue to inspire. For some of people that might be following the media, this is a young lady that had a medical incident, and our personnel, her family, was very grateful when I seen them at the services of the response time of our police and fire department. This was an unfortunate, very, very young lady that was driving on Telegraph and was fortunate to slightly pull over before she had a medical incident and a brain aneurysm, which took her life at a very, very young age. So they wanted to make sure that our police and fire department were noted that it was a tremendous response and caring at that time of need. So this is a big loss in the community time. Someone at that age passes. She was just recently engaged, so we want to make sure that we offer our most heartfelt, sincere condolences to the family. Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 7 is public comment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. All right, so council rules were enacted this term to allow up to 30 minutes of public comment prior to our business items to better serve our residents. If anyone would like to address the city council regarding city business, we ask them to fill out these comment cards, which I have here. They're available on both sides. We also have overflow rooms too, so if you are in a room, just indicate to the staff member that's there so we can make sure you've been heard. Okay? Just a kind reminder to everyone that we have a 3-minute limitation. The clerk will provide you a 30-second warning when your time is about to expire. When you are speaking, I ask that everyone, we do not allow outbursts. We do not allow any type of issue where you're speaking to the council. Please, just a kind reminder, you're addressing the council, not the audience. So if you want to address the council, you address your comments to the council directly. And for everyone to be fair, we want you to be heard. We need everybody to please remain respectful so that the people can make their statements and they can be heard by the body, okay? At this time, we're going to go in the order that we received them. And Mr. Clerk, the start time I have is 7:19.
Okay.
All right, so the first person we have is Nathan Hayes. Just a kind reminder, just your name and address when you step forward, sir.
Forgive my limp. My name is Nathan Hayes. I pastor here in the city of Dearborn. And I'm sure everybody has seen social media. If you're not living under a rock, I'm sure you've seen everything that's going on. I just wanted to make a statement to the city council and to our city that this is the greatest city that I've ever lived in my entire life. I am thankful every single day for the fact that we have multiple types of churches, mosques, people that come together. It's a beautiful thing led by some incredible leadership. And I'm not just blowing smoke. It is one of my favorite things. When our church building collapsed in July of this year, the first 2 people who reached out to me were members of a mosque. They were not members of a church, they were members of a mosque. And they opened up their space, they opened up their facilities and said, hey, if you need a place, come be part of what we're doing. And where we finally got a opportunity to have our services now at the University of Michigan, Dearborn, it just kind of shows you what we really are. I know if you look at video clips on social media, you get a very different idea. And I don't know about you, but I get a little tired of constantly defending who we are. And who we are is much different. It is much different than what is presented in little tiny clips on social media. And I just wanted to say, personally from my heart, I wanted to thank the mayor. I wanted to thank the city council for leading and being great examples. I know when we look at a clip, there's a little bit of a frustration, but you have to understand that frustration doesn't come from one moment. Frustration comes from moments after moment after moment after moment. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to allow us and letting us be part of this community and letting us be part of this great city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker we have is Mr. Scott Cherry. Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening. I would have preferred to go much later. However,
Just your name and address for the record, sir.
Scott Cherry is my name and 6142 Coleman is my address.
Thank you.
I'd like to echo many of the words of Mr. Hayes, right? Yes. Pastor Hayes. I would concur and agree, and there's much to celebrate about this city. I know Many people would say that. Now, for the other stuff, I don't think our city council lets us live here, or the mayor lets us live here. We just live here. We chose to live here, or maybe we were born here, and our parents chose to live here. So the government doesn't get to decide who lives here and who doesn't live here. And the council and the mayor doesn't get to tell any of us you can or you may not live here. So that's the issue, I think, that's on the table here tonight in these 30 minutes. I was listening to a commentator on one of the, 50 or 100 news outlets. I think Michael Knowles was his name. He said, and now I have a story from Dearborn. He said, this is a Muslim town. And I wanted to tell him, Michael Knowles, this isn't a Muslim town. It probably isn't a Christian town either. Even if it ever was, it isn't now. But what this city is an American town. Okay? This is America, this is the United States. So this is just one little microcosm of the broader United States of America that enjoys, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, the only constitution in the world that has never been revised, and the longest lasting one. Okay? Now, we want this to be a city in America where we can really freely speak our minds in the city council meetings, and that no one is going to shout us down, such as the mayor did to Mr. Barham.
30 seconds.
The mayor doesn't get to say what he said. No mayor gets to say it, and none of you get to say that. Mr. Barham chose to move here. He pays taxes. He has all the rights of everyone else. And we have the right to object strongly to things, and things even that represent another religion, the other religion, okay? We get to fight with each other. We get to even offend each other. That's how America is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cherry. All right, next person we have is Miss Andrea Unker.
Hello, Andrea Unger, 6401 Reuter. I realize this is an election year, and I want to publicly thank the mayor and the city council for listening to the concerns of Dearborn's residents and taking actions to improve the quality of our life here. Number one, the trash bins and the cleanup at the neighborhood parks. Number two, the speed humps to slow down the traffic. Number three, the mayor's walks through the neighborhoods. Number four, limiting the short-term rentals. Number five, the cleanup of signs and the homeless encampments and the panhandling like at Ford Road and Telegraph. Thank you. I hope that this continues after the election as well. I've been coming to the Federation, the committee, and the council meetings for 2 years now to address the enforcement of the noise ordinance, which states it is unlawful to permit unreasonably loud, disturbing, unusual, unnecessary noise, which annoys, disturbs, injures, or endangers the comfort, repose, health, peace, or safety of others within the limits of the city. 2 years ago, a council member sought to change the noise ordinance to permit the mosque to use loudspeakers to play the call to prayer multiple times daily. This change was not passed at the council meeting, but the mosques in East Dearborn are now at times waking us up at 5:30 in the morning with the call to prayer, and at other times forcing us to listen to the prayer in our yard and in our own home. With our signed petition, my neighbors and I are asking for the respect to live peacefully in our own homes, as no permission was given by the city council to allow outdoor playing of the call to prayer. For the last 40 years, the call to prayer was either indoors, or at times it was printed, or it was on the app. What changed that they felt permission was given? The noise complaints have been made out, and the police have made numerous visits. What is the next step?
Thank you, Ms. Unger. I know that you had came before, and I appreciate your comments from the beginning. I do believe it's not because of election. Those things take years to implement.
No, but I do appreciate
Yeah, but-
those things.
Yeah, but it happened to end up getting implemented recently, but we've been working on it for a long time. But I do appreciate it. And I did send through our, Jackie, we did send through that information to our request from the chief when you were here last, and he has not compiled all the data yet. So we're giving him some more time to find out. But as I've said multiple times, there is no change in ordinance for any religion, for any noise ordinance to do whatever they want or amplify sound and, you know, impede on someone else's life and enjoyment of their property, which I've been consistent for 3 years with you on that. So I totally agree with you. And then we have found instances where they have violated it, and we have been going there, so on and so forth. So we're going to have to come with a resolve that's going to be final. As you know, as I spoke at the last meeting, the officers went there, marked a mark for the level of the volume on the unit, took the knob off, you know, and you did say that the 5 a.m. thing had completely stopped, but it looks like it came.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, but it came back like recently one time.
Right.
So we're trying to get a handle on it, and it's you know, it's not legal, and nor do we support it. So as I've told you from day one, we're going to stay on top of it to get it, and we do appreciate you coming forward. But I'm waiting for the chief to get back and give us some more information on what he's found, because it's going to be to the point where we have to start escalating it. And you know that I have one of my close friends on that board who had no idea this was going on, but that was last year. I did talk to him about it, and it seemed like it went away for a little while, but it's coming back again. So it's just like any business, you have to stay on top of it, and we have to stay on top of it. So your comments and your points are well taken. They're not dismissed, and we understand where you're coming from, and we're going to make sure we get to the bottom of it.
And I do appreciate what the council has done, especially with that cleanup at Ford Road and Telegraph. That's amazing. Keep it up.
Thank you. We're working on it. All right, next we have Mr. Ted Barham.
Members of the council, Mayor Hammoud. I have no intention of...
Mr. Barham, just your name and address for the record is the protocol.
Sure. Start again. Yeah. Ted Barham, resident of Dearborn. Can I start my 3 minutes now?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. I have no intention of bringing a lawsuit for the infringement of my rights. People have been saying I should do that all over the world. I have no intention of doing that. The mayor, in a way, cursed me, as was seen around the world, and I would like to repeat what I said that day to you, Mr. Mayor. God bless you. I think of the words of the Messiah, bless those who curse you, and some other very powerful words which were mentioned this week at a prominent funeral about loving your enemies and love your haters. And I think this is a very important message in our society right now, not just in regards to Muslim-Christian relations, but in our society generally. I see way too many people calling the other side a POS. If you don't know what that is, that's fine. I'm not going to tell you, but I just think there's way too much hate in the society right now. And so I want to encourage loving your haters, and I would say that in regards to Hezbollah as well. I would say that in regards to Mr. Sablani, and I would say that to Israel too. Love your haters. I think the people of Israel should follow the example of the greatest Jewish person that there ever was, the Lord Jesus, the Messiah. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask a favor. And I'll preface this. There's nowhere in the world where we are able to speak completely freely as Christians. Here in Western countries, we're slandered as Islamophobes when we try gently and respectfully to invite Muslim people to believe in the Lord Jesus. And in Muslim countries, there are so many violations of human rights. And just to give an example, Mayor Hammoud, you were in Mecca a few months ago. on the Hajj, the original Islamic country, and in that country, there is still not allowed to be even one church, not one church in that whole country. In Gaza, there are less than 1,000 Christians. It's such a tiny minority. And as if that wasn't bad enough, 30 of them were slaughtered by Hamas after October 7.
You have 30 seconds.
Lebanon does not allow the same rights that we have here. I know somebody who's kicked out of Lebanon after 35 years, a gentle missionary. So I do not think this is acceptable. Enough is enough. This needs to stop now, and it needs to stop here. And I would like to ask a favor, if I may, just kind of as a symbol of the type of freedom that I'm asking for. Would it be possible for you, Mayor Hammoud, in front of the world, and council members, to join me in saying, we would like to put out a Christian call to prayer and a Christian
Your
call
time
to
has
faith
expired.
in all the countries around the world where an Islamic call to prayer goes out. We would like to put that out, and I would like to invite my friend, Ali, to read the words that we want to go out in the Christian call to prayer in Arabic or in whatever other language.
Thank
And I
you,
would like
Mr.
to say them in English, if I may. If I may just have a
No,
few more
Mr. Barham,
seconds.
your time has expired. You made your point. We appreciate it.
I
Okay?
understand that, but I feel
Mr.
like
Barham.
last time there was a little bit of,
Mr.
you know,
Barham.
bending of the rules.
Mr.
That's
Barham,
fine.
I gave you
understand,
an
sir.
opportunity.
I understand completely. Thank you very much.
so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. All right. Next we have Mr. Jeff Davis. Is that an overflow? Oh, right here? Yes, sir. How do I know if it's an overflow? Nobody?
Thank you. Yes, I'm Jeff Davis, and I live on Wilson Street.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Yes, I want to address the situation of the mayor spoke out to one of the residents. As mayor, you hold the highest position of authority and gravitas in the city, and so he should be a unifier of the city, of the different groups living here, and not fan any flames of division. The language used was derogatory, inflammatory. He said, you said the cruelest things about Muslims and the religion of Islam. You're a bigot, a racist, and Islamophobe. Well, I've known Ted for a little while. I've never heard him say anything like that. In fact, I know he loves Muslims, and he does, as he said, invite them to dialogue. So, and I'm not sure what the mayor's intentions were, but some people that are given to being irrational or violent behavior might think this was a call to help rid the city of this man. And so this took place on the 9th, the very next day, the 10th. An irrational person acting upon the things that he'd heard. This man is a hater, this man is a transphobe, this man hates women. He pulled out a rifle and shot and killed a man in Utah. And that's terrible behavior. We don't want to condone anything like that. In fact, we don't want to, we want to be telling people how we can get along. And this man, ironically, was the one who was a spokesman for free speech and debating and dialoguing those who disagree with you. And he was shot, not because of what he said, but what other people said about him, calling him a racist, calling him all kinds of names, none of them which, as far as I know, fit him. And so people started to say, we're all Charlie Kirk. And I think unless the council and the mayor do something, we're going to have people saying, we're all Ted Barham. And let me explain. I have many Muslim neighbors and friends, and I respect their devotion, and that they're convinced that Islam is the religion of God and Muhammad's the prophet. I'm not convinced of that, but I'm not upset that they tell me that. I'm actually happy that they tell me that. Why? Because they are concerned about my soul. I tell them about the Lord Jesus Christ and that his divine nature and his sacrifice, his death, his resurrection, and
You have 30 seconds.
I'm happy to do that. And so what we need to do is make sure that we keep the freedom of speech. That means everyone's free to speak, not just speak the things that we agree with. and then call those that we disagree with and label them and their speech as somehow hateful and harmful. That's not what we want to do. So I just think we have a chance to correct that and have a better reputation of our city on the internet. Thank you very
Your
much.
time has
Thank you very
expired.
much, Mr. Davis. Appreciate it. All right, folks, next we have Adam Smitswitz. Yeah, I didn't want to pronounce it wrong.
Adam
Sure.
Simnowitz, I live on Lincoln Street. I prepared something here. I didn't realize I had to address the entire council, but the way that I wrote it, and I want to be as respectful as possible. Mr. Mayor, I was greatly disappointed that you told Mr. Ted Barham that he is not welcome in Dearborn at the previous council meeting on September 9th. When you were sworn in as mayor, you solemnly swore to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state as stated in Section 6.9 of the Dearborn, Michigan Code of Ordinances. The preamble of our nation's Constitution reads, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." Telling a resident who is exercising his First Amendment right of free speech in a civil manner that he is not welcome in this city is a failure to uphold the preamble of the U.S. Constitution, which you have solemnly swore to uphold. You also promised on the day that you became mayor, as quoted by WWJ, "As an administration, we will mold our Dearborn government to be as dynamic and civic-minded as the people of our city." And by the press and guide regarding Dearborn, we've modeled for the world what a multi-ethnic democracy can look like when we approach our differences with kind curiosity rather than suspicion. And so I'm appealing to you to retract your statement regarding Mr. Barham not being welcomed in Dearborn and sincerely affirm towards him that he and his family are indeed welcome in this city. And by doing this, you will both uphold the U.S. Constitution and stay true to the promises that you made on the day that you became the mayor of our city. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, just one clarification before we go to the next person, because there's some people indicating that speech was stifled. That's completely inaccurate. So I want to make sure everyone understands that. Anybody that came to speak, including Mr. Barham, completed their time and was completed at that time. So I want to make sure we don't frame this issue as stifling speech, because that's not what happened, and the video is available, the whole video, where you can see it. So everyone that's here is allowed to make their opinion, whether you agree with it or not. But we are here to, as servants to our residents, so we listen to what they have to say. But there was no speech that was stifled, so I want to make that abundantly clear. Okay, next we have Zion Summers. Yes.
Excuse me. My name is Zenon Summers. I graduated from the University of Michigan Dearborn in 2022. When Mayor Hammoud addressed my graduating class at my commencement, he said that, quote, "As you studied here in Dearborn, you got to learn better than most what a vibrant, messy, multicultural democracy looks like. The Dearborn difference is exactly that." End quote. That message resonated with me. While I studied here, I, for the first time in my life, experienced an environment where people of multiple ethnicities and multiple religions came together peacefully to discuss, to disagree, and to learn from one another. Now it seems to me that that's changed. Denigrating Mr. Barham's character and insisting that he is not welcome in Dearborn because of his Christian faith serves only to flatten the multiculturalism that makes Dearborn so special. It burns bridges instead of building them. I therefore would join those others here who would ask Mayor Hammoud to apologize publicly for his comments toward Mr. Barham, and for the City Council to take action to affirm the right of all in Dearborn to practice their religion without opposition from their elected officials. Council members, Mayor Hammoud, thank you.
Thank you so much. And then again, just for a point of clarification for anyone there, the freedom of religion is granted way higher than our pay grade. So there was no stifling of religion in the council meeting. So I just want to make sure that's abundantly clear. Like I said, people have their opinions on things based on what they believe is factual or not factual, that there is no issue whatsoever from the city council regarding that. Next, we have Mr. Robert Hattis.
Hi, I wasn't going to address the council. My name's Robert Hattis. I'm a 1968 Fordson graduate and so forth. I had the opportunity, I live in Livonia. I still maintain most of my relationships in Dearborn, always will. I'm from the South End, Dearborn South End. I'm born and raised here in Michigan on Michigan Avenue. And I listen to that, so my concern is always with what's going on in the city of Dearborn. And first of all, I want to thank Henry Ford, because but for the senior Henry Ford, none of you would be here.
Mr. Hattis.
You're all here as a result of Henry
Mr.
Ford.
Hattis, please address the council.
Okay, I apologize.
It's okay, it's okay. Just the
But
council.
but I did take an opportunity and read that. Now, I read a lot, I watch the news a lot. I've been watching the news well before Trump was even nominated for the Republican position of a Republican nominee. So, and I'm constant with that. With respect to what I heard our mayor say, okay, I listened to that. If the mayor had a legal basis for saying what he did, and I find this gentleman very credible and so forth, would I have said it maybe a different way, soft-toned it a little bit? But I think in a greater context, what this mayor is saying, he's saying to each and every one of you, regardless of your religious denomination, your ethnicity and so forth, is this. When somebody comes in here and yells, "Fire!" we don't want that in Dearborn. I don't want these people in Dearborn or anywhere. When you come up here and you act in an incendiary fashion and make accusations and so forth, then in the context, what this mayor's saying, and I believe he's saying is, whether it was Mr. Barnum, is that his last name? Whether it was him or any other individual that comes in here and comes in as a wolf dressed in sheep's clothing, and that's the way I look at it, and try to espouse things that he doesn't believe in. He made a reference to Hezbollah, and I said I'd stay away from that. But Hezbollah, to this day, there's no actual evidence that it was Hezbollah specifically. They may not have even been formed that killed our 84 members of the Marines. And bear with me, and I know this is a special night and so forth, and you've extended time and so forth. But if you do want something that's factual, people, I ask you to look at history. The USS Liberty, the state of Israel killed how many U.S. citizens on that boat? Look that up. That's a homework assignment for all of you.
You have
look
30
up
seconds.
the USS Liberty. Look up the Lavon affair with Jewish people and so forth. But I won't spread that. The Lavon affair and so forth. And then, since you are a peace-loving man, then believe as former President Jimmy Carter, who was maligned every day for writing a book, Peace, Not Apartheid, because of the apartheid policies that the state of Israel has imposed on the people in Gaza and Palestine, and I believe Mr. Barnum used that phrase
Your time has
last
expired.
week where he said he had been to Palestine. Well, I'm glad you recognize that there is a Palestine.
Mr.
And
Hattis.
God willing,
Mr. Hattis.
for the sake of the world, that we have a two-state solution that serves everybody's interest. So
Thank
that
you. Thank you, Mr. Hattis.
So that AIPAC isn't taking us in running this country.
Okay,
They
thank you.
contribute to both sides of the
Mr.
aisle in
Hattis.
Washington.
Mr. Hattis, your time has expired. Thank you very much. We appreciate your
Okay.
passion, but we have to afford everybody the same privileges. Okay? Next, we have Mr. Anthony Deegan.
Anthony Deegan, Dearborn resident, longtime resident. Sorry, I will not have the enthusiasm that we just saw. I couldn't do that in 1,000 years, so that was impressive. I just want to say, maybe with a little bit of a different tone, I'm big on addressing the elephant in the room, and I want to speak on behalf, I think at least, on behalf of myself, on behalf of many of the people in this room, and on behalf of people who truly call on Christ. A message for specifically the Muslim Arabs in the city of Dearborn. And that is that we love you. We love you with the love of Christ. And that is sincere. We want the blessings of God to be in your life. We want you to have happiness. We want you to have joy. We want you to have fulfillment. We want you to meet the loves of your life, to have children, get married first, of course, have children, have fulfilling careers, to do what you feel that you've been called to do on this earth. And so it's not a matter of us versus them. And for the people who may be watching from outside of this city, I will concur with some of the things that have been said in this room, that while Dearborn definitely has its problems, I think the majority of people in this city are loving. I think that they are kind, they're generous, they're compassionate, some of the most incredible neighbors you will ever have, offering you food, hospitality, and everything else. Some of the best people in the world. And so it's not a question of us versus them. I think that distilled, this issue comes down to really not even about a man, not even about a street sign, not even about a mayor, not even about a resident. I think the real question that this country has for the city of Dearborn is, where does it specifically stand on the issue of Hamas and Hezbollah? Hamas and Hezbollah has been designated as a terrorist organization. And while the criticizing of violence anywhere that it's found has certainly been said multiple times, I've heard multiple people say it, I don't know that I can say that I've ever heard Hamas and Hezbollah specifically condemned.
You have
And
30
so
seconds.
I think that the question that I would actually like to ask right now to this city council, if you could answer this question for the nation, is, do you definitively, unequivocally, by name, denounce Hamas and Hezbollah, or do you support them? I would ask that you please, like right now in this moment, actually answer that question if you could. That's I think that would resolve a
time
lot of
has
this. Thank you
expired.
very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Mr. Duggan. All right, next speaker we have is Sarah Allah.
Council President,
Yes.
just to remind you, we're at our 30 minutes.
Okay, so we have about five more speakers. I would entertain a motion to extend the time. Motion to suspend the rules by Councilman Enos, supported by Councilwoman Herrick. Thank you, Councilman Paris. There's any objection to unanimous roll to extend the time? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. We'll extend the time.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is Sarah Lau. I live at 22902 Olmsted. I'm a Christian, a mom, and a proud Dearborn resident of 9 years. I grew up in Lower Alabama in a conservative Christian community, so I know that perspective. I know the rhetoric. My teenage years were spent in a Pentecostal children's home, so faith and the way we talk about faith have shaped me my entire life. I also know what it feels like to live in a place where division can run really deep. That's why I value Dearborn and what it represents, a diverse, welcoming city where my family feels at home. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. I'm not usually someone who gets involved in politics or council meetings. I tend to stay out in the shadows when it comes to political jargon. But when I see our mayor being called anti-Christian or having his character questioned, I can't stay quiet. 5 seconds of a council meeting taken out of context shouldn't define the character of a man who has spent years helping his neighbors. And just so it's clear, Abdullah and I don't agree politically. Coming out of Alabama, we know I'm much more progressive than he is. But this isn't about whether we agree on every issue. It's about the kind of person you want leading a city. I first reached out to Abdullah years ago when he was serving as our state rep. It was my son's 3rd birthday, and we're a family that loves political memorabilia. I asked him for something small from his office, and Abdullah went above and beyond, and he had an American flag that flew above the Michigan State House, presented to my son for his birthday. We didn't matter to him politically, but he cared enough to make that moment special for a little boy. Later, when the floods devastated Dearborn in 2021, Abdullah personally came to our neighborhood, and he helped the residents carry out their flooded furniture in their basements. That's the kind of person you want leading your city. Someone who shows up, gets his hands dirty, and helps his neighbors. Since then, we've watched Abdullah grow as a leader, and we've watched Dearborn grow under his leadership. We've seen real investment, positive change, and a vision for a city where everyone belongs. I also want to be clear that the loudest voices attacking Mayor Hammoud do not represent me or many evangelical Christians in this city. As a Christian, I want my neighbors to know that we stand with him. This isn't about politics, it's about character. And I can say with confidence, you will not find a better person to lead this city. Dearborn is strongest when we see each other as neighbors first. I'm here tonight to say that I support Mayor Hammoud, and I hope we can all keep building a city where everyone feels welcome.
Thank you. Okay, folks, we next have Ishmael Ramal. Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ismail Ramel. I live on Tyson Street, and well, thank you all so much for keeping this city running really well. I love the city so much. I'm a lifetime resident here at Dearborn, and I love it so much. I thank God and I thank my parents for choosing to come here to this country, especially, but also choosing to come to Dearborn, Michigan. So I'm a first-generation immigrant, meaning my parents are both from Lebanon, and I've always felt at home here, obviously because of the large Arab population that's here, but I've always felt at home because, you know, despite it being a very Arab majority or even close to majority, you know, there are a lot of people who aren't Arab, and I've been treated with respect by every single person that I've met. I've never heard anyone tell me, for example, especially after 9/11, you know, that terrible time where Muslims were put under the microscope, every little thing, every little belief, that I'm not welcome here or that I should go back to my country. And that's an American creed that I really believed in, and it's what made me love this country so much, is that we don't see each other through the lens of religion or ethnicity or anything like that. We saw each other as human beings. But my concern is when the mayor said those words, "You don't belong here," I felt hurt. I felt like that social fabric was being torn. And it was not okay. It was not okay for me to hear. It upset me, especially because I know Ted, he's my friend, and to hear him slandered like that as a bigot really hurt me and cut me deeply. And I feel like it's a regression in what we believe here in Dearborn and here in America, that I feel like that's not the American way. That's not what Americans say, and that's especially not what a mayor should say to a resident. And I don't know, I'm calling on Mayor Hammoud, please apologize for just the sake of the city, for the sake of the social fabric, so that we can continue to love each other as a city, so we can continue to have a very strong community here in Dearborn. And to acknowledge that those remarks, no matter how much...
You have 30 seconds.
No matter how you feel about Ted, that those remarks do not belong here in America. They do not belong on the lips of a mayor of a quite large city in Michigan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Betsy Andreo.
Hi, Betsy Andreu, Dearborn Hills. I have two questions. Well, one is a question, one is a comment. There was a quiet room or a prayer room that was since your election, Mayor, Mr. Mayor, and I would like to know who paid for that.
Okay, Ms. Ms. Andrea, you're addressing the council. If you have a question, something like that, you could send it in through a FOIA request if you're asking for who paid for anything. But I can tell you that anything paid for through any government aspect is for taxpayer dollars. That's how it always is.
Okay.
So, but you have to, this is not the forum for you to
Okay,
ask
okay,
that.
I didn't know that, okay. This is about the outburst a couple weeks ago. I have received, many people from all over the United States have contacted me, asking me what kind of city I live in. I know this is not about stifling of dissent, of speech. You have every right to feel offended. If you felt offended, I've never heard of Mr. Barham before. I tried looking up what he said online. I could not find anything at all. I'm Catholic. We don't evangelize if he's evangelical. I don't know how they do it. But when I went to Mass at Rate Field, when they were in June, when they were going to have a message by the Pope, there were thousands and thousands of people. I went there with my kids to Mass. And outside of the stadium was somebody who was anti-Catholic with a megaphone, disparaging the Catholic Church. We didn't go up to him. I thought, this is wonderful. My dad escaped communism, was jailed 3 times for offending the communist government of Yugoslavia for what he had said. This is America. People can disagree. We should be able to have dialogue and speak. And the fear is, although speech was not stifled, if you're going to disagree or if you're going to do something, you're going to be labeled an Islamophobe, a racist, a bigot. That is meant to stifle discussion. And that is beneath the office of mayor. That's what I would like to say.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we have Nicole Elhart? Elhart? All right.
Good evening. My name is Nicole Elhart. I am a Dearborn resident. I want to say thank you all for your service. It takes a lot of work to do administration. It takes a lot of hours, and you take a lot of flack. And I appreciate you doing the service for our city across all ideologies in politics. I also appreciated meeting one of you on my lawn the other week on his anniversary, out with his wife, canvassing the city. I was very impressed. Also, I heard that there was good news, and I want to congratulate you, Mayor Hamoud, on a new arrival in your home. We rejoice with you. And then second, I come with a request. Sir, a mayor represents all inhabitants of the city and needs to be working for their good. And while it is true there are many Arab Muslim residents now to represent, it's important to remember we've all come to partake in a government structure that was built on Judeo-Christian values that include freedom of conscience and freedom of religion. We already know if we have multiple religions, we do not share the same beliefs. We know Christians do not believe Islam or they would become Muslims. We know Muslims do not believe al-Masih or they would become Christians. And to live together, we agree to treat each other respectfully and voice any community concerns in the proper venue. And sir, we need a mayor who does not attack Christians for confessing Jesus Christ as Lord. I do not ask you to adopt our beliefs, though I long for your sake that you would live forever with the Lord Jesus Christ, so I certainly invite you to. But I do ask respectfully, I ask in your official capacity as mayor, that you would work for civil interactions and government function within a very diverse city, that you would speak respectfully to those that you fervently disagree with, and that you would ensure all residents are free to engage in our civic duties without any personal attacks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, Shane Rifle.
Actually, it's Shane Rife, and
Sorry.
that's okay. And I'm a citizen of Garden City. I just wrote something here. I wanted to first express appreciation that the city of Dearborn opens its doors to non-residents so we can share our concerns about this and other matters. So now when I first became aware of what happened at the previous meeting, I couldn't believe my ears. My friend Ted, whom I've known for a long time, was being accused of bigotry and Islamophobia. But because I know Ted, I know that these accusations are not true. Ted is a follower of the Lord Jesus, and he takes very seriously Christ's command to love all people. There's not a mean bone or an Islamophobic bone in this man's body. In regardless of what country they come from or whatever religion, I know Ted loves these people. He loves everybody. But nevertheless, because, sometimes some things escape our attention, I wanted to research this matter myself. And I know that Ted is an honorable man, and I assumed that Mayor Hammoud must also be an honorable man, and I would like to still make that assumption as well. But when I researched this, what brought all of this up in the first place, I started to learn a little bit about, there was an actual rally, this rally for Lebanon, in which this gentleman, Osama Siblani, was actually praising a dead leader of Hamas who had killed Americans. And I was like, what? We have a mayor in the United States who is sharing a platform with somebody, with a terrorist? And I asked myself, where is the allegiance of Dearborn and the leadership of Dearborn? I was shocked to find this out. How have things gotten to this point to where we have this kind of openly, right in public in these rallies, where someone is calling out and praising a terrorist, and then the mayor of that city gets up and actually shares a platform with this gentleman? So the name of that guy the terrorist was Hassan Nasrallah. Siblani praised him, and the mayor shared a platform. I just want that to sink in for everybody who wants to know what really is underneath this story. So I was shocked. When I heard then that the mayor was upset and accused Ted of Islamophobia and bigotry, it sounded like an attempt to silence Ted.
You have 30 seconds.
Very frequently we see this happen all the time. If they don't approve of what someone says, they're accused of something to discredit their character. And that would obviously be very effective in Dearborn if you accuse someone of Islamophobia, because that would people would just shut that person down immediately. So I just want to challenge the people who are hearing this and the leadership. Where is your allegiance? Is your allegiance to the United States, or is your allegiance to Hezbollah? And I want to encourage everybody,
Your time
may
has
the Lord
expired.
Jesus bless us all, and I hope that we'll get some honesty. So God bless everybody.
Yep, thank you. All right, we have just a couple left, and I have Jason, I can't pronounce it, Francescos. Okay, sorry, sir. Step forward, and just, again, your name and address for the record.
Jason Francescos, Westland resident.
Westland.
Good evening, Dearborn City Council. I'm a Christian, a neighbor to the city of Dearborn. I want to start off by giving God glory and proclaiming that repentance and faith in Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, saves from sin and of hell. I have observed some things with others that are deeply disturbing and alarming to many Americans. If you can imagine, if you will, Council.
Tim.
If you can imagine, if you will, a neighboring city next to Dearborn gathering a protest together with tens of thousands, raising Israeli flags, marching down the street, chanting, give, give, give back to Israel what is theirs. This would instantly incite anger and possibly provoke people to civil unrest and war. On top of that, putting the name of people on street signs who have supported terrorist groups that have killed people and their families. This would outrage anyone. This is what Dearborn did, gathering tens of thousands in the streets without regard of offending or fear-mongering their own people in their city that may not agree with them, while flying foreign flags under the name of freedom of speech. There does come a point when this is considered treason, when people in this crowd start to speak poorly against America. It becomes mutiny, and the agenda flying these flags appear more like conquesting and a takeover, daring anyone to oppose them, and can spawn manifest war right here in the streets of America. Let me remind you, council, and those that are Muslims, you are in America. You are on American soil. We are not in the Middle East. We don't incite war on the streets of America. There are those of you in political power who appear to be nice and friendly and support evil things such as LGBTQ, which is an abomination to the Lord, abortion, which God hates, hands that shed innocent blood, grown adult men marrying little children, which perverts the right ways of God. They're stealing, lying, murdering. These are some of the reasons that we stand outside of your mosque, rebuking you. We can coexist in America, but this country is founded on Judeo-Christianity. So sin will be rebuked and the gospel will be proclaimed. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. That's all of us,
You have 30
including
seconds.
Muhammad. He was a sinner. Jesus Christ, the only perfect man who never sinned at all, is the only Savior that we have. We don't accept
Mr. Hess,
pedophiles.
we
We
do
don't
not allow
accept
outbursts.
terrorist supporters, sympathizers. If you want to continue to reap the blessings of America, stop supporting sinful things that cause curses over your people and over your people and your dwelling land. Turn to Jesus Christ to be saved. Proverbs 17:15. He that justifieth the wicked and he that condemneth the just, even
Your
they are
time
both
has
an
expired.
abomination. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 21. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Thank you, sir. Okay, folks, we are nearly an hour into this. I want to make sure I give the last few speakers, but we're getting extra cards, so we're going to have to wrap it up. And then those people that did not speak will be able to speak at the council. After the council agenda, there's no limitation on time for that as well. So our last speaker is Mr. Bill Runkel, William Runkel.
Council President Sereni, I'm William Runco. I live on Brady Street. It's a pleasure to be here. Well, I'm not even sure if it's a pleasure to be here tonight, but I think it's an obligation to be here tonight when you hear some things going to be said and you want to find out about what's going on. And I think, sitting here tonight, I think I'm reminded, and many of us are probably reminded, that democracy is a bitter pill. It really is a bitter pill to swallow sometimes. You have to listen to things you don't want to listen to. You have to permit others to say things that you don't want to listen to, but yet that's what our democracy is all about. And the fact is, I don't agree with some of the stuff some people have said here tonight. I agree with other things people have said here tonight, but yet we all have the right to say what we want to say and be respectful to each other when we say it. I think part of the problem, though, in this country is, and I hate to see it migrate here, but we amplify things. We amplify the bad. We amplify something someone has said. We take it out of context. We take someone's comments. We attribute things to people that aren't true, and we forget about what we're here to do as Americans, and that is to make a better place for our children to live in. And I'm not so sure that we've done that in politics in the last 10 years or so. Many of you may know that, there's a lot of people here who weren't even born when I was elected to the Wayne County Board of Commissioners.
Yeah.
Served in the Michigan legislature. I was a judge for 12 years. I went on to work in the Attorney General's office and was appointed by 2 governors, one a Democrat and one a Republican. But the fact is, we've lost our way a little bit, people. If somebody says something that you don't like, argue about it, disagree with it, but what happens is there are people ready, willing, and able to take that comment. And if a Christian says something that's anti-Muslim, there's groups out there that want to say, look, Christians hate Muslims. And if a Muslim says something that they perceive as anti-Christian, there are groups out there that say, look, Muslims hate Christians. And we know that is not the truth. There are people that want to amplify. They want to take advantage. And all the things, hearing Hezbollah, Hamas, hell, I want my garbage to be picked up on time, okay? I don't care.
I got to clap for that.
I don't care about that. I do care about it, but this is not the venue to fight that. And if we want to name a street after Osama Sablani, who, by the way, if any of you ever talked to, would find out he's a very engaging, interesting guy.
You have 30 seconds.
Now, I'm a Republican. I was a Republican. I served as a Republican. I can tell you this, that whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever, we have to be respectful to each other. And I want to say one other thing. All you people run for office because you love this community. And I know this fellow over here, the mayor, I didn't vote for you, and you know I didn't vote for you. But I can tell you this, I know in getting to know you, I know how much you love this community, and you can't fake it. And the fact is, this community has moved forward, and I just want to say thank you for your leadership.
All right, at this time, I thank all the comments. There were a couple comments that came at the end. Again, we have a public forum at the end of the council agenda where there's unlimited time and those cards will be called. I do ask that if you are going to be exiting the council chambers and not observe our agenda, please try to do it in an orderly and as quiet as you can manner, if you don't mind. Mr. Clerk, we are returning. Yes, Mayor? Absolutely, Mayor. Let me turn your mic on. You good?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Dearborn represents the best of America. We put into practice the ideal that people of all backgrounds, of all faiths, and of all beliefs can live peacefully and respectfully as neighbors, as classmates, as business owners, and as congregants. And that is precisely why we have long been mislabeled and targeted, long before the sensationalized headlines of this past week. For decades, people have been intent on dividing and disparaging our city. Growing up, many of us recall those who came into Dearborn from across the country to burn religious texts in front of the mosques or to harass families attending the Arab American Festival. Dearborn has often been slandered for simply coexisting peacefully because the truth is, some people are uncomfortable and frankly upset about seeing church steeples and mosque domes share the same skyline on roads like Alter Street on Alter Road. But Dearborn has never fallen for these divisive attempts. Back then and still now, Dearborn residents from every corner of the city have come together to shun hatred and to root it out of the place that we're all proud to call home. We are united. Every time someone has tried to unravel the fabric of this great city, we've stood together, shoulder to shoulder. That unity has carried us before, and it's what gives families in Dearborn comfort and confidence in the future of our hometown. Across every background, every faith, every identity, we have built a city that is not only strong, but truly an example for the rest of this nation. And as you've heard tonight, those who call Dearborn home know who we are, a city that welcomes and embraces everyone. It is our hope that one day the unity you actually find in Dearborn amongst its residents is the same unity and coexistence that you see across our entire nation. That is an America we all can pray for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right. All right, Mr. Clerk, again, just a kind reminder, if anyone is going to be exiting the council meeting at this time, or those that do want to speak further, you're more than welcome to stay to the end of the agenda, and then you will fill out the comment card and be accommodated. Before we move on to the consent agenda, are there any items of which members wish to remove from the consent agenda and discuss individually? Okay, hearing and seeing none. Mr. Clerk, can you go for it? Next item.
Item 8, resolution in need of offer and support.
It was offered by Councilman Enos and supported by Councilwoman Herrick.
Approving all the items on the consent agenda and requesting immediate effect.
All right, any questions or comments on this? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the roll?
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
The resolution passes.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we move forward to the next item, which would be?
Item 15.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution by Council Members Enos and Hammoud approving the minutes of the previous regular meeting of September 9th, 2025.
Okay, are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to these minutes? Hearing and seeing none, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 16, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1854, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter, chapter 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding section 11-125 entitled Residential Concrete Driveway Reinforcement. Resolution by Council President Sereni and Councilmember Hamud to table, or take from the table for its final reading.
All right, unanimous roll shall be attached to take from the table for its final reading. The proposed residential concrete driveway reinforcement ordinance, section 11-125, requires all residential concrete driveways at least 4 inches deep to include a 6x6 welded mesh reinforcement material. This is an approval by this building city official. There's right here on the screens to give you an idea. The requirement will apply to all new driveway installations and in any sections that needed to be replaced after the ordinance takes effect, of course. So the purpose of this was brought forward because we do have, this is not required in the code, and it allows the cement not to separate. And so that's why we're looking forward to bring this forward and make sure that we give a better protection to our residents while they are doing some remodeling in their home. All right, this is the second and final reading. Any questions or comments? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1854, an ordinance to amend the occupancy and building standards chapter of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding section 11-125 entitled Residential Concrete Driveway Reinforcement.
All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
All right, Mr. Clerk, is that the right order? The same order you just called? You're doing the...
Yes, yes I am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item 17, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1855, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 4.00 entitled Off-Street Parking and Loading Requirements. Resolution by Councilmembers Enos and El Sawafi to take from the table for its final reading.
All right, unanimous rule shall be attached, take from the table for its final reading. In response to emerging development trends and modern planning standards for sustainability of communities and recurring challenges in building multifamily housing, our city staff is proposing an amendment to the Dearborn zoning language. Multifamily resident development has been limited in the city of Dearborn, and those that have moved forward often struggle to meet current parking requirements, frequently needing variances at the Zoning Board of Appeals. The city staff recommends a targeted ordinance change to address off-street parking standards. The proposed changes include eliminating additional guest parking requirement, which previously mandated an additional 20% of total lot parking, and to better serve through special land use. This ordinance also proposes a reduction in parking minimums for multifamily housing. For a one-bedroom unit, the requirement from 1.5 parking space per room is reduced to 1. And for a two-bedroom or larger, it's reduced from 2 spaces to 1.5. A public hearing was held on August 11, 2025 by the Planning Commission, and the motion, and it was voted to recommend the approval of these conditions. The motion ultimately did fail at that time. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments from my colleagues or anyone in the audience regarding it? All right, so Mr. Clerk, can we have the second and final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 1855, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 4.00 entitled Off-Street Parking and Loading Requirements.
All right, can we have a roll call vote, Mr. Clerk?
Councilmember Hamud.
I'm sorry, yeah, they should. Go ahead.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Ask for all of them back on.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilman Enos.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we have the next item?
Item 18, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1856, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 15.00 entitled BB Community Business District with a delayed effective date of January 1, 2026. Resolution by Council Members Abraham and Hamud to take from the table for its final reading.
Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached, take from the table for its final reading. The short-term residential, short-term rental, or STR ordinance includes two components, amendments to both the zoning code and the code of ordinance. The goal is to expand the range of eligibility for STRs, or short-term rentals, properties, while preserving our core principle of protecting single-family neighborhoods and our housing stock from this use. In August, staff presented a zoning amendment to the Planning Commission regarding our STRs in the city's commercial districts, specifically in BA, local business, and BB, community business, as well as BC, general business. The commission recommended approval with the condition that the STRs be excluded from the BA district due to the proximity to single-family homes. This amendment broadens the STR opportunities to appropriate commercial zoning while continuing to uphold our priority of buffering a single-family home areas from short-term rental activity. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. Any questions or comments on this? All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have the second reading? Final reading.
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1856, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Dearborn by amending Article 15.00 entitled BB Community Business District with a delayed effective date of January 1st, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, for that clarification as well, too. Can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilman Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
Item number 19, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1857, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicle Chapter, Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Section 18-320 entitled School Buses Overtaking, Meeting, or Passing. Resolution by council members Enos and Abraham to take from the table for its final reading.
Any unanimous roll shall be attached to take from the table for its final reading. This amendment of Section 18-320, which governs traffic violations near activity of active school buses, is being proposed to bring our local law in alignment with recent updates to Michigan law under MCL 257.682. The primary goal of this amendment is to enhance student safety by enabling camera-based enforcement for drivers who fail to stop for school buses. The proposed amendment would authorize use of cameras mounted on the school buses to capture violations. It will allow citations to be mailed directly to the offenders and establish a system of escalating fines from $250 for its first fine up to $500 for repeat offenders. These updates are designed to reflect state law changes and to allow the city to enforce school bus-related violations through modern technology. If approved by the City Council, the city will enter into an agreement with the Dearborn Public Schools District to manage and review the approval process for recorded violations. This is the second and final reading of this ordinance. So this is something that was brought through for the administration, and I know that the mayor and administration have given us the stats that on average 3 to 4 violations regarding school buses where people drive around them when the bus is stopped, which is illegal. And if it's not witnessed by a police officer in its presence, it cannot be ticketed. The state changed that law to use cameras and technology, so we're in full support of this. I did not know that people, 3 or 4 a day in each bus, were not stopping when the bus puts the lights out. I think that's the first thing I learned in traffic school. So I hope that this will bring us to a better place and make sure that people stop when the buses are parked and their lights are flashing. Any questions or comments?
Yeah.
Councilman Hamud.
I think this is a great item, and I really appreciate Corp Council and the police department. I know the police chief's not here, for bringing this to us proactively. I think it's really responsive from the administration that as soon as the state law changed to allow us to make these kinds of improvements to our local ordinances and allow us to enforce these kind of infractions on a regular basis, they brought it as quickly as they could. And I know that they're going to be working expediently with the school system to implement this and try to get one of those agreements in place as quickly as possible, especially in a community right now where we're already struggling enough with reckless driving and to ensure the safety of our students and our residents. So, I think it's pretty commendable that our new administration is very reactive to these types of changes, and this is kind of like the proactive things that we like to see from our Corp Council on changing our laws to make sure that they're updated with the new state laws. So thank you guys for that.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Councilman Hamud. All right, Mr. Clerk, can we have the second final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1857, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicles Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Section 18-320 entitled School Buses Overtaking, Meeting, or Passing.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
All right, next item.
Item 20, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1858, an ordinance to amend the offenses chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding section 14-44.1 entitled Lift Assist and Non-Emergency Cost Recovery. Resolution by Council Members Hamud and El Sawafi to take from the table for its final reading.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Unanimous roll shall be attached to take from the table for its final reading. In recent years, the Dearborn Fire Department and EMS have been experiencing a growing number of non-emergency calls originating from assisted living facilities, independent care centers, and nursing homes, in which most of them advertise that they provide these services for their residents. Many facilities call the city for non-emergencies such as lift assist, diverting resources from pending emergencies in the city. To address this, a cost recovery ordinance is being proposed so that the city can recoup costs from such calls, following examples that are set throughout other cities as well. Under this ordinance, the city will impose a $1,000 per non-emergency run fee, such as a lift assist, and the fire department will be required to maintain detailed records of non-emergency responses, and a clear criteria would be established to determine when a fee applies. Facilities would be given 60 days from the date of notice to pay the assessed fine. An appeal process will be made available. For example, if the fee could be reduced based on payments made by insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, or other sources as well. This is the final reading. But Chief, if I'd like to have the chief to give a better explanation for some of our residents to understand what we're doing here so they don't feel we're not taking care of our residents, Chief, but why this is so important, if you may.
Thank you. Good evening, Council President, Council. I want to make it clear to the residents, if they call us for help, they fall down and need help getting up, we're going to be there for them 100%. This ordinance specifically is applied to facilities such as nursing homes, assisted living, facilities that are required to have the appropriate amount of medical staff, nursing staff in their facility to help patients in this manner. So what we're finding is that there are some facilities that are understaffed and not able to lift patients or move patients or what have you. So they're relying on the fire department services to do that. And like I said, we will always respond. We will always help our residents, but we are trying to hold the business owners and the facilities accountable for not properly staffing their facilities, so that we could, these residents live in these facilities. They expect a certain level of care, and they should get that care from the facility. So this is one measure the fire department's using to try to ensure that those residents are getting their services and not bog down the emergency services that may be needed elsewhere.
Thank you, Chief. So for a lame aspect to it, I know we had talked about this, and I'm glad you brought it forward. So for example, for our residents, when someone goes out for a lift assist, so at a certain type of facility that's housed in Dearborn, a resident needs to be moved from one chair to the bed, and they don't have someone to move them, they would call 911. Is that correct?
Yes.
A 911 emergency.
Yes, that's what the
And how many
facilities
people
are
do
doing.
we send when that happens?
Typically, one ambulance would be with 2 firefighters to that scene.
I'm sorry, Chief, again?
2 firefighters to that scene.
2 in the ambulance, correct?
Yeah.
So what happens if they're there doing what the profit, because this places are for profit, is that, they're supposed
Yes.
to make money. What happens is a resident that's in the housing, is in their home, might be calling, and there'll be a more delay time because others are out. So I think this is a tremendous proposal. I thank you tremendously for bringing this forward, because for day one, we've been always talking about run times and how we can increase our run times. And we always joke about the unions, but they actually said to me that they have the best equipment there is. So I was very happy with that. We pride ourselves on making sure that our fire department has all their needs and the best equipment possible, but they can't use that if they're doing the job of a facility that's charging the resident to live there for that. So I knew there was some, but when you gave us some of the numbers, I don't know if you still remember off your top of your head for the residents, it was alarming how many we get for these lift assists and non-emergency runs. Do you remember how many just off the top of your head?
One facility in particular is about 70 runs a year just for lift assist. That doesn't include necessarily all the other non-emergent calls.
Yes.
But even 70 calls, it's a lot of time. I mean, it's about an hour, between
Yep.
responding, doing the paperwork. And our hope, we're not trying to make money off of this by any means.
No,
We're
I think
hoping we
we're
never
like
have
that,
to
yeah.
send one bill out, to be honest with you. We just we need to make sure that our emergency resources are available for emergencies.
No, absolutely, Chief. So I do appreciate that. And we did talk about the cost of the fee of $1,000, and I completely believe that it is actually, I think, justified and actually less than what it costs to send a fire ambulance and two paramedics out for a couple hours. So we do appreciate that. And then again, the goal is to get the facilities to staff properly and not to rely on emergency services. So can't thank you enough for bringing this forward.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Councilman Hammoud?
Yeah, so I actually had the opportunity to do a 24-hour ride-along with the fire department the week before last. I got to sleep at the fire station. That was an experience. But I think the one thing I did notice was that the ambulances were always on runs. So I was blessed to be on an engine, so I didn't have to wake up every hour. But I think it is very important that we're able to maintain that level of service that residents expect, but people need to understand our ambulance service is already very close to capacity as it is. So to have our tax dollars and our firefighters subsidizing what should be already staffing decisions that are made at assisted living facilities, I think that's something that I'm glad we're able to find a solution for, because we continue to see during budget hearings our run volumes continuing to go up, and we keep trying to improve our staffing, but we only have so much budget we can send to that, and unfortunately it's these facilities that need to also do their part because they're generating revenue off of these things. So I appreciate you guys bringing this forward, and I hope that this ends up resulting in what we intended to.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Chief, appreciate it. Any other comments, questions? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1858, an ordinance to amend the offenses chapter 14 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by adding section 14-44.1 entitled Lift Assist and Non-Emergency Cost Recovery.
Okay, unanimous roll shall be, I'm sorry. We need the roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Aswafi.
Yes.
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hammoud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Can we have the next item?
Item 21, ordinance on the table, ordinance number 25-1859, an ordinance to amend the traffic and motor vehicle chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 3, Division 2, entitled Regulation of Class 2 Parking Lots. Resolution by Councilmembers Hammoud and Enos to take from the table for its final reading.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Unanimous roll shall be attached to take from the table for its final reading the proposed revision updates of the city ordinance regulating Class 2 parking lots to better align with current state and local engineering standards, as well as paving requirements outlined in our city ordinances. The existing 2007 ordinance includes outdated provisions that now conflict with modern standards. Today, Class 2 lots are not required to install drainage facilities if they have access to a public alley containing a drain or catch basin. If no such access exists, the ordinance mandates the installation of a catch basin connected to a the city sewer system. Furthermore, parking lots located in industrial zones are currently not required to be paved and may instead use compact gravel or slag-bound material, which end up causing dust throughout the community. These proposed amendments would remove these exemptions that allows the lots with alley access to bypass proper draining requirements. Additionally, the revision would eliminate the exemption permitting unpaved lots in industrial zoned areas as well. These updates are being recommended to ensure the city's regulations are fully consistent and with current engineering practices and zoning standards, ultimately promoting better stormwater management and improved lot conditions and for a long-term sustainability. This is the second and final reading. We have any questions or comments on this? Okay, Mr. Clerk, can we have the final reading?
This is the final reading of ordinance number 25-1859, an ordinance to amend the Traffic and Motor Vehicles Chapter 18 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Dearborn by amending Article 3, Division 2, entitled Regulation of Class 2 Parking Lots.
Okay, Ms. Clerk, can we have a roll call vote?
Councilmember Herrick.
Yes.
Council President Sereni.
Yes.
Councilmember Enos.
Yes.
Councilmember Hamud.
Yes.
Councilmember Abraham.
Yes.
Councilmember Paris.
Yes.
Councilmember El Sawafi.
Yes.
7 yeas, the ordinance passes.
Next item.
Item 22, resolution by council members Hamud and Enos awarding a contract to Deponio Contracting LLC in the amount of $697,265 with a contingency in the amount of $100,000 for Rulo Gravel Alleys Paving Pilot Project. Also authorizing the city engineer to execute all change orders or modifications that utilize all approved contingency and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The intent of this pilot project is to pave via concrete an existing gravel alley that is located north of Lapeer, south of Eagle, east of Rulo, and west of Amazon, which is currently in poor condition with a broken sanitary sewer located underneath the alley. This project will improve access and use existing alley to eliminate dangerous potholes, dust, and mud that tracks out through the through the existing gravel. The project will improve installing storm water or drain concrete through the alley into the sewerway and not to surface drain into adjacent properties, which is the whole thing. We're trying to stop water going into your basement. Purchasing on behalf of Engineering Division recommends the award of a contract to Rulo Gravel Alleys Paving Pilot Project to Deponio Contracting, LLC, which is submitted the lowest responsive and responsible bid. The request in the amount is $697,265. It is requested that the council authorize this project with immediate effect to facilitate a timely manner in the completion. Okay, Councilwoman Herrick?
Thank you, Council President. I'm sorry I was not at the committee the whole meeting on Thursday where this was first addressed by council and put on our agenda for today. I was at the Michigan Municipal League Conference getting further training to better assist our residents. So could I just ask a couple of questions that perhaps my colleagues did ask on Thursday? I understand that paving this alley is a pilot project, and I know some of our alleys are have been in great disrepair, and maybe this is the best solution for certain alleys and not other alleys. So how was it determined that this would be the pilot project? Is my first part of my question. And then I wanted to ask also, is there a plan for how many other alleys will be paved eventually? And, what's the immediate impact on the budget, like for this year, for next year? And then the long-term impact on paving, maintaining these alleys with pavement as if they were streets going forward? Because we know that paving a street is millions of dollars per foot, or per mile.
Nicole Golich, Deputy Director, DPW. Thank you for your question. So this project is an emergency project with us, a sewer. Are the mics on? I don't know if I hear myself, but needless to say,
No, you can hear
the
you.
sanitary sewer system is the reason why we're doing this first of our pilot project. So the line needs to be replaced, and that's why we're paving it to insert the catch basins, because you can't put a catch basin in the gravel alleyway
Right.
because it doesn't have the proper runoff. So this is our first pilot project. We ran the sewer scope down, the camera scope down, and that's what presented itself, the issues that we found, and that's what put this pilot first on Rulo Alley. With this funding, it's out of the sewer fund and the capital project funding for the money that you had asked about where the funding's coming from, the funding source. And then there is a plan to pave more alleys, and our goal is just to maintain them just how we maintain the streets as well. So we would be responsible for plowing them, salting them as well.
And are all city alleys, which alleys are going to be paved in the long term?
Well, this is the first of the projects, so we're doing it based on the need of replacing everything underground. Obviously, once we tear something up, we want to take care of everything that's underground first. It's the responsible thing to do, and the sanitary sewer line is what's the biggest issue right now with the residents living in those homes. And they're all going to get a service line attached to a new service line going into their house as well with the sanitary line.
Okay, so are all alleys eventually going to be paved across the whole city? Or is it determined by what the pipes are underneath the alley? And if there are sanitary sewers under those alleys?
Yeah, so I'll take this
Mayor?
question, Council President.
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor.
So during the budget process, I think we brought up the idea of beginning to go through our alleys to assess what can be paved and what cannot. Can every alleyway be paved across the whole city? I think engineering believes not every alleyway can be paved across the whole city. But there are certain alleyways where we can pave after fixing the sewer lines underneath, providing us 30 years basically of coverage for the concrete that is poured. And so not every alleyway will be paved. We're leaning on the expertise of engineering to determine which can, which cannot. This is obviously the first of that type of project, and also eliminates the maintenance that you have to do on an annual basis for those 30-year timeline.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to be clear, because I don't want residents to have a misunderstanding. If they
Yeah.
have an alley behind their house, that it's going to be paved or that it's going to be paved soon. So
Yeah.
it will be determined
Yeah, it's an
by the
expensive
engineer.
project. We're obviously taking this on,
Yeah.
and our hope is to try to build out a 5-10 year plan of what this may or may not look like. But ultimately, we want to assess which alleyways responsibly should be paved upon completing the underground infrastructure. But engineering would also tell you that some of the alleyways cannot be paved because they always need access through the gravel for some of the lines underground.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor, and Director Hussein, I do have a couple of questions on this because I know we did speak with this at length. So my only concern is that we told the residents since the early 90s that the alleys are their responsibility and they have the property.
So they maintain up to half the alleyway. That is the responsibility of your residents, for your maintenance. However, the city does maintain alleyways.
Correct.
Okay,
In
right, like
regards to
we'll grab, okay, like what we do in a lot of areas
Yep.
where we just grade them.
Correct.
Okay, so the question is, but you said snow plowing, and we're gonna plow them too?
We typically plow the alleys that we have paved.
I'm sorry?
We typically plow the alleys that are paved
In
and
the normal
salt them.
course? Okay, I just wanna make sure because that's
Especially
my
if there's
concern. I mean,
garage access from
Yes.
any of those alleys in the back.
I know,
for
but
the
we,
homes.
I know, but it's a tough one, Mayor, because we tell them it's their property. They're responsible, like when there's a tree I sent you that was
Yep.
out in the alley, right?
Vacated alleys, yep.
So they gotta take, it's since the early 90s, we said, look, these alleys are the residences, and they're split in half. Some residents have taken fences and extended the property, which they had the rightful to do, if they don't impede on a active driveway.
If they're vacated.
Right, if the driveways are back, there's no driveway, not driveways, but garages back there. So I think my concern is, and I appreciate the aspect of the sewer broken, we understand that completely, and I didn't know that you had to have cement on the catch, for the drain. It must have to do something with the pitch for the water to run out, so it makes sense. And I know we need this project, and I know it's a pilot, but I just want to be careful because we're telling residents, and now we're, so basically, that's like plowing their front sidewalk, we're plowing the alley, and I understand it's because we have easements and utilities there. But we transferred ownership to them. So I just want to make sure, because as the Councilwoman Herrick indicated, there will be many questions now regarding this. And I know that in the budget, the council supported me regarding, and you guys have done it, and we put it in the budget with the mayor regarding grading a lot of alleys in East Dearborn that have deteriorated. Because in the past, we used to grade them every year or every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Yeah, and then for 12 years, we didn't grade them. So now we're back doing it. So I understand this particular item that's before us, but I think the councilwoman's points are well taken, and we want to make sure that the members of the council know how to address these concerns with our residents. So I appreciate the question. Thank you. Councilman Hammoud.
Yeah, and again, I think I understand this particular project, but one thing I'd like to be understood going forward also is where I sometimes have a hard time with it is when we're performing the maintenance and the build out on an alley or anything in the city, but we don't own it, but taxpayers are subsidizing the use and operation of something. I guess I personally have a hard time with that, and I understand that in this case it's going to be used to provide sewer service, which is a good thing, and so is the drainage, because I know this particular alley, and it's essentially being used as a road. But one thing that I'd like to explore is if we're going to continue upkeeping certain alleys, then we should own them, because if we're paying for it, we should also have the
I just
rights
want to clarify, we do own the alleys
Mayor?
that have not been vacated. And so if there are public easements running through on alleyways where you have 20 garages in the back end, that is our property. And so maybe there's residents have up to a certain point of that alleyway, but we own that property. It's not private property.
I have an alley behind my house. I don't think I own it. Well, sorry, I own it. I don't think the city owns it.
I don't know what your alleyway looks like.
Okay.
So, you know what, I think this is a great question in Corporation Council, and then can we put this, Jackie, for a request? Can we get a map indicating which, because the mayor made a point, which my understanding is that all the alleys were transferred to residents in the early 90s.
That's what I thought too.
So now we're saying that not all of them, which I could believe there's some that probably weren't because of easements or so on. But so can we get a map to all council regarding the alleys to highlight which ones are city property and which ones are not? So I don't know, Corporation Council, if Jackie, please send that to our DPW, but also legal, because it might have to do with engineering or legal or easements. So I want to make sure we get an idea, because those are calls we get all the time. As you know, I call you. You know, and they say, hey, this alley has not been, completed. And then I'll be honest with you, the residents sent me pictures. I sent them to you, and they were taken like a couple of years ago. I went there in the morning, and the place looked better than my driveway. So I didn't know what was, so we do get calls on this. I went there, so we do get calls a lot about the alley. So we need to have, the information, and I do believe the mayor is factually correct, and Corporation Council was nodding to me that there is some that are still under the control of the council. So I think it would be best served if we all received that, so we know.
Great.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments on the alley? All right. And any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item number 23, resolution by Councilmembers Abraham and Enos, authorizing the Finance Director to recognize the 2024 U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistance Grant funding in the amount of $18,736 in the general fund, police administration, intergovernmental, Federal Reserve account, and appropriate the same in the general fund, police administration account, and requesting immediate effect.
Yes, it's 8 additional. Thank you, Mr. Clerk, for that item. The Dearborn Police Department applied for and received a federal grant from the U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance Award for 2024, the Justice Assistance Grant, or acronym of JAG, in the amount of $18,763. This reimbursement grant with no local match is requested that the Finance Director be authorized to recognize the $18,736 into the General Police Fund Administration Governmental Federal Revenue and appropriate in the same into our General Police Fund Administration. Any questions or comments regarding this? All right, in objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached. Next item.
Item 24, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos, authorizing the addition of 8 part-time personnel slots for 8 part-time ordinance officer positions for the police department to be filled within the calendar year 2026 at .70 full-time equivalents per year in the estimated amount of $192,000 and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Ms. Clerk. There are currently 11 ordinance officer positions. The addition of these 8 ordinance officers positions will specifically provide for an increase in service in our city parks. This will promote a peaceful use and enjoyment of our parks to all visitors. Officer will monitor for violations such as littering, vandalism, disorderly conduct, and any safety hazards as well. Additional park patrols are also intended to protect the city's investment in park infrastructure by reducing vandalism and other damage that is caused based on misuse. The ordinance officers will educate visitors of our parks regarding our ordinances, as well as issue citations for serious violations. The Finance Department is requesting on behalf of the Police Department to recommend the approval of these 8 additional slots for part-time ordinance officers and the equivalent of .70 full-time equivalencies per year. The estimated annual cost will be $192,000. It is anticipated that these positions will be filled by within the calendar year of 2026. Okay, Councilman Al-Swafi?
Thank you, Council President. This is for the administrations. Just for clarification, these 8 additional ordinance officer positions will be exclusive for the parks?
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Mayor.
So, as you know, we're trying to essentially retool what a park ranger program looks like. And we thought this is a better approach, utilizing the ordinance officers within the police department, because we think we can maximize a few things. Obviously, the large focus and priority will be the parks. But we also think there could be an opportunity in the early mornings where the parks are not busy, talking about drop-off time at schools, that these ordinance officers can also assist crossing guards. And so our goal will try to be a combination of the both, where you can get shift covering in peak times at parks, but also maybe during the major drop-off times, you have some ordinance officers that can assist.
Great.
Because
So
we're
the-
having a very tough time in hiring crossing guards as well.
No, I understand. So great, they'll be more than just at the parks, they'll be utilized across other
Correct.
areas within the city.
Correct. Because
Well-
obviously during the winter times, right, you don't have the parks and stuff, so you got school drop-off times, you got downtown, which is getting busy, things of that nature.
And there's no option to bring back the park director program, where they can be a part of that?
Park director?
Park ranger, I mean.
No, not ranger.
Oh,
director
you're the
program.
blue box,
Oh, the blue
the
box
park
program?
director. The blue boxes.
Yeah, so,
I'm half joking.
He pointed at me because I used to be one of
Yeah.
those in high school.
That's a good one.
It'll be great if we can explore
In the
that. But
summertime,
I want to
yep.
continue, as far as the 11 ordinance officers, we did increase that correctly within the last budget. How's that going? Because I think we're headed in the right direction, but we're not there yet with property maintenance. We improved the property maintenance ordinance, we added
yeah.
more
So
officers.
to clarify, these aren't the ordinance officers that go out to houses and do the citations on issues of cleanliness and tall grass and stuff. That's code enforcement. And so these are like the folks who write a citation for parking illegally. You're parking on garbage day, things of that nature. They have that level of authority. That's what these are. So
The additional 8 and the 11.
yeah, the 11 ordinance officer positions, that's what currently exists within the police department. And so the code enforcement that you're speaking of, we're now at 10 full-time, plus the vector control, which puts us at 14. That's fully hired and staffed, and they're hauling across the whole city. They're doing a phenomenal job. It's on the uptick, and we'll be fully staffed as of October 6th.
That's awesome. Can we get a report on that, on how that's going, how many tickets, what kind of issues they're seeing? across
Yeah,
the
we
city?
can do that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the clarification. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. And Jackie, you got that? That's for ED, though, that's correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so for these, Mayor, just to clarify, as indicated, these do not have the level, they cannot write any ordinance violations for property.
Yeah, these aren't doing property maintenance. They're not doing speeding and reckless driving. These are your lower level, ordinance officer positions within the police department that largely target parking, littering, things of that nature.
Yeah, blocking driveways, stuff like that.
Correct.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 25, resolution by council members Abraham and Enos approving the application of Zambelli Fireworks located at 120 Marshall Drive in Warrendale, Pennsylvania, to obtain a special events permit in order to conduct firework displays at Greenfield Village 2025 Holiday Nights fireworks shows on December 4th through the 7th, the 12th through the 23rd, and December 26th through 28, 2025. Also granting a noise ordinance waiver during the event dates and times, and authorizing the fire chief to set rain dates as required and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Since 2004, Greenfield Village has been requesting to host their annual holiday nights, and this year it's going to be held from December 4th through December 28th with a firework display on each evening beginning at 10 p.m. It has become a premier holiday celebration, attracting countless visitors to our great city of Dearborn. The display will be launched from the Greenfield Village property just south of Eagle Lane. Also, they are requesting a temporary waiver of the noise ordinance, and that council gives the fire chief authority to set any rain dates changed as needed. Any questions or comments? Okay, any objection to unanimous roll? Okay, unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 26, resolution by council members Enos and Abraham granting the request of Divine Child High School to conduct their annual homecoming parade on Friday, October 3rd, 2025, beginning at 6 p.m. with assistance from the police department for traffic control and an escort for the duration of the parade route. Subject to reimbursement for city services, all applicable ordinances and the rules and regulations of the police department. Also granting a noise ordinance waiver for the duration of the event and requesting immediate effect.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. The Dearborn Divine Child High School will be hold their annual homecoming parade on Friday, October 3rd, 2025, starting at 6 p.m. The parade route of 2025 will remain the same and end up at the the Divine Child High School football field. This event will adhere to all policy ordinances, rules, and regulations set forth by our Dearborn Police Department. They're also requesting a noise ordinance waiver for the duration of the events. Any questions or comments? All right, any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 27, resolution by council members Enos and Hamud authorizing the city to execute the 2025 road safety audit agreement with the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, also known as SEMCOG, to evaluate roadway safety along Schaefer Road between Michigan Avenue and Warren Avenue with a 20% local match requirement in the amount of $5,392.72 and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Approval is being requested to execute the 2025 Road Safety Audit, or RSA, agreement with SEMCOG to evaluate road safety conditions along Schaefer Road between Michigan Avenue and Warren Avenue. The RSA allows technical professionals, community members, and agencies to proactively engage in a conversation about road safety with the leadership of an independent party. The RSA team reviews recorded crash trends or near-miss crash patterns, conducts field visits to observe traffic patterns, identifies crash risks for all roadway users, and also identifies the root causes observed of these crashes, and identifies potential mitigation measures. SEMCOG will hire a consultant to perform the RSA. The total project cost is $26,963.60, of which the city of Dearborn will provide a 20% local match of $5,392.72. Any questions or comments on this item? All right, any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 28, resolution by council members El Sawafi and Enos authorizing the use and closure of West Village Drive between the east and west parking decks adjacent to Peace Park West from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Thursday, November 20th, 2025 for the inaugural Dearborn Wonderlights opening ceremony event. Also authorizing to extend this approval to a rescheduled date in the event of weather-related cancellation and requesting immediate effect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Dearborn Wonderlights is a new annual city event that will feature interactive installations that blend technology. There we go. We got a picture on the screen there. That will feature interactive installations that blend technology, art, and storytelling to create a memorable holiday walkthrough experience. Encompassing 3 months this winter season, this free family-friendly occasion will debut in our Peace Park West and is designed to attract thousands of attendees from across Metro Detroit as a regional centerpiece for holiday celebrations. Each month, the Wonderlights experience will be anchored by a community event kicking off with an opening ceremony on Thursday, November 20th, 2025. Mark your calendar for that one. The Department of Community Relations requests approval for a street closure for inaugural Dearborn Wonderlights opening ceremony. The closure would encompass West Village Drive between east and west parking decks of the Peace Park from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Additionally, it's being requested that these approvals be extended to a rescheduled date if the event is canceled due to weather, and immediate effect is being requested. Any questions or comments on this? All right, if anybody hasn't had a chance to go downtown in the evening and get coffee, make sure you find a parking spot and walk. But it is a great time. I think I see the chief of staff down there last week when I was driving by. And if you're trying to pick up your food, make sure you bring somebody to jump out and you go park somewhere else and grab your food. But I'll tell you, we have done a tremendous job, Mayor and administration, of what we have done downtown. If you had a chance to go downtown in West Dearborn lately, it's so vibrant. Thank God it's safe. There's people going across the street, so we want to make sure they're crossing safety. Yeah, thank you. But it is a great time down there. The food scene, the coffee scene, the dessert scene is really, really taking off. And the amount of people that are down there is excellent. I did peek my head into the structure, and there was still plenty of parking spots if you want to go up there and take the elevator down. So a great time downtown. So take a look at it. And I know we had an orchestra down there this last weekend. Excellent job. So it's really livening up the area. So I want to thank the administration for all that they've been doing on that aspect. Any questions or comments? Thank you. Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll shall be attached. Next item.
Item 29, resolution by council members Enos and Abraham concurring in the appointment of Kate Brady Medley to the Parks and Recreation Commission with a term ending June 30th, 2028, and requesting immediate effect.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We just want to thank all our commissioners, folks, people that get involved in city to help out our city. Commissioners are volunteers. They're doing this on their own time and helping to assist our city, and they do tremendous work. It does matter and it does help. So this appointment is for Katie Bradley Medley to the Parks and Recreation Commission for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2028. Any questions or comments? Any objection to unanimous roll? Unanimous roll should be attached, and I'd like to thank her for her service. Next item.
There are no other items on tonight's agenda.
All right, so before I open it for my colleagues, I think I did mention a little bit about the downtown, but just, I don't want to steal Councilwoman Herrick's, but because I am a big coffee drinker, I am going to mention the coffee. Can I do coffee week?
Yes, you can do
All right,
coffee week.
I just want to make sure. And Mayor, for you, it's, what is it, Juice Week? Because you don't drink coffee? What is it?
Capri
Fritzer? I know you like the, I don't know what it's called.
He likes to add me tea.
No, he does not drink coffee. But anyways,
drinks the
Coffee
tea.
Week in the city of Dearborn starts February 25th and runs through Friday, October 3rd. The citywide celebration showcases our deeply rooted and vibrant coffee culture that makes Dearborn a unique coffee capital. Folks, if you haven't tried some of that coffee, it's incredible. If you're a coffee drinker, some of it is too sweet, so ask for extra crump. You could split it and add a little water. Tremendous job. People have come up, I'm sure, to my colleagues and myself and said, how many coffee shops are you going to let open? Well, for those of you that are in the middle or wherever you're at, it's capitalism, and we set this table as a government, and they open what they want to open. But I'll tell you what, I can't find one that's not full.
That's true.
So I've been there, and I'll tell you, I never thought I'd spend $12 or $13 for a coffee in my life. But if you do, ask for the dessert, then now that's worth the extra money that you get there. So tremendous job, great service to all our restaurants and restaurateurs. For many of you that know, I grew up in the restaurant service aspect in my life. So I have a really soft spot for these smaller businesses that are working day in, day in and out, and we want to support our local businesses. So if you have time to go down and check the Coffee Week out, I know we're going to be doing, I'm sure the mayor will speak on it too, some more events regarding it. So support your local businesses, and you'll be surprised how good their product is. That's all I had for myself, but I know we have some others. Councilwoman Herrick?
Thank you, Council President.
You guys go.
First, I'd like to remind everybody that if you have not been to, if you like books, or your children like books, check out the AAUW book sale. This is the 72nd year that the American Associated University Women will be holding this fundraiser for their scholarship program. There's a charge to attend if you go the first day, and then not the other days, October 3 through 5 at the DISC, the Dearborn Ice Skating Center. There's something for everybody at this book sale if you like any kind of books at all, but it's just a lot of fun, and it's a great fundraiser for the AAUW. Then I'd like to, Jack Tate is not here tonight. I hope he's doing well. Our friends over at the Historical Museum. They always have things going on at the museum, as does the library. Have to give a shout out to the library. It has something for everybody. But in particular, long tradition now for the Dearborn Historical Museum is their fall fundraiser they call Brews and Booze, in time for Halloween. That will be held this year on Friday, October 10th from 6 to 11 p.m. At the Commandant's Quarters on Michigan Avenue. And they have a band there, and they have samples of beer and non-alcohol treats that you can sample with your admission, and it's a fundraiser for a historical museum. You'll see people attend in costume. They have fortune teller, music, fun, games, silent auction, all to benefit the historical museum. And then, and that is, again, Friday, October 10th. On October 11th is a family fun day, the Family Fall Festival, a trick or treat, also at the Historical Museum, Commandant's Quarters. And that is a free event for families. And they, again, have games, activities, candy, bounce house, all kinds of family fun from noon till 4 p.m. And I thought there was one more thing I wanted to tell you about. Oh, I just wanted to give a shout out. The council president was saying, all the great things going on in downtown West Dearborn. If you have not been to one of the concerts, we had 2 fabulous concerts in the last month, bringing back Music Under the Stars. And the Dearborn Symphony Orchestra played, and then last Saturday night, the National Arab Orchestra played. Beautiful candlelit. Beautiful after dark, just a very moving place to be. But what was really the most powerful was to see all the people of all ages from all walks of life across town and coming to visit, families and friends gathering to hear this music in our beautiful Peace Park. And I think that was the intention when that was first proposed over 2 years ago, when it was just kind of a vision that was presented by the mayor to turn a gravel parking lot in West Dearborn into this gathering place, a plaza that's a gathering place. And I think it was at its element last Saturday night. So thank you for adding that to the vibrancy of our Dearborn, our city of Dearborn.
Thank you. I think that was the first time those parking decks were ever full.
They did. The decks were full.
The decks were, I looked, they were almost full. But Mayor, we're still waiting for the plaque to be installed there for that place. I mean, hey, that, really, when you go from gravel to, years of nothing there to what we have today, it's a tremendous.
It also
it's an
stores
awesome.
60,000 gallons of water underground.
Yeah, well, that's a very big benefit as well.
Very innovative.
Mayor, you're up next. Administration, Mayor, you have anything?
I think you guys spoke to all the events that are happening.
We didn't leave, we'll leave you one next time.
And, just to look up the neighborhood walks, we're finalizing the neighborhood walks. Obviously, the colder weather's coming, and so my team is less inclined to be out in the streets in the cold. So just look it up. It's dearborn.gov. Just search Mayor's Neighborhood Walks, and you can see if we're going to be in your neighborhood anytime soon. I think we're wrapping up in the last week or two. Another week or two, and we'll be done.
Excellent. Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Clerk, anything from your department?
Well, we have an election in November.
Yes.
So ballots will be sent out to the absentee voters and the permanent ballot list folks on Thursday. And also on Thursday, the absentee ballots will be available at the clerk's office for those that are voting absentee. So we're in that mode now, and we'll be full force between now and November 4th. So please go out and vote.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And then, Mr. Clerk, just a question for your aspect or something you can plug. I know that we have tremendous not volunteers, but election day workers, and I know we always have really good quality people there. Are you starting to take in information regarding that for the election? Or
Well, we've already scheduled people to work early voting. That's already been set, and we're still looking for probably another 10 or 15 folks to work on election day. So full day, it's 6 a.m. until 9 p.m. The pay has been increased to $275, so that's a pretty good amount of money.
$275?
Yeah.
It's great.
So, so we're hoping to compete with some of our competitive other cities that.
So if we want to get someone like my son to apply for that job, how do we do that? How do they do that?
Yes, they can, actually, there's a spot online. They can go on our website, or they can come in person and get an application as well. Yeah, we can actually hire students 16 and 17 years old also.
Excellent. And
Yep.
then in regards to the early voting, do you want to just give a little time frame on that? It's
So
9
early
yeah.
voting will be 9 days, starting on Saturday, I believe it's October 25th. That'll be 9 days all the way leading up to the Sunday before Election Day. It'll be at the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center from 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock every day. And
9 to
we
5.
had a great response during the last November election, and we're hoping for a good response this year as well.
Okay, does it include Sunday too, Mr. Clerk?
It includes two Sundays and 2 Saturdays. Actually, it's Saturday, Sunday, and then the full week, and then the following Saturday,
Right.
Sunday.
But the Monday before the election, no.
Yes, before
Okay.
the election. Yep.
All right, well, hopefully that does work out. All right, at this time, Ms. Clerk, we will go to the second, to our second public comment forum.
Okay.
So I do have some cards. If anyone had not have a chance, they're on either side. I do have a few cards with me right now, and then if you do not want to fill out a card, I could take you at the end if you like to come up and speak as well. So we have, first is Mr. Ed Fakori. And just a kind reminder, just your name and address for the record, and that you have a 3-minute limitation to address the council, and the clerk will let you know when there's 30 seconds remaining.
Sure. My name is Eddie Fakori. I live at 1327 May Street here in Dearborn. And I want to thank the esteemed council to give me this time. I felt compelled to be here today, both as a participant of this community, but more importantly, as a friend of this community and a friend of our mayor. I normally don't participate in what I define as the circus of board. You know, those who come into our community and try to create division and discord. But when I saw what happened the other day, I felt compelled to find some way to convey to this community, but more directly to our mayor, my support, and that not only as a resident, not only as a friend, but in the context of this session as an Arab Christian. I know the difficulties that this community has been through. We've been raising our family here for the last 28 years. This community is near and dear to my heart. I've been running ragged, so, excuse my voice right now. But I wanted to make a point to be here because how else can I show my direct support to this city, but more importantly, to a person I got to know before he became mayor, while he was mayor, and to see that this singular moment seems to be defining him bothered me. And so for me, at a personal level, and because I love this city, and because I believe in his leadership and all the impact he and his team has had, I felt compelled to make sure that I was here. But when I hear people use the cloak of Christianity to try to divide us, and then to see a person who I don't know raise the ire of a man that I have never seen get angry or emotional, it bothered me. And I want to make it a point to let the mayor know that my family, we believe in everything that this city has been representing under your leadership and before. But as your friend, I know who you are as a person, as a father raising his family, as a son from a family that is a tremendous group of people that have been investing their time here in our city. And to sit idle, that's not the way I am.
You have 30 seconds.
Especially when it comes to friends and people that I believe in. So in this context, as an Arab Christian, I believe in you and I know that you are welcoming and this city is more than this circumstance. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Ms. Misho Asi.
Salam everyone, my name is Mashhadi. I go by Misho. I live on Pinehurst Street. I'm going to be reading so I don't get off the 3 minutes. I want to express my strong support for the Mayor Hamoud for always making sure Dearborn is very welcoming and inclusive and where hate is not tolerable. As someone who attended Catholic school in Lebanon for 15 years at Collège Notre Dame de Sœurs Antonine in South Lebanon, where, by the way, it's being bombed today, I was raised to the value of coexistence. I was actually raised by nuns. The value of coexistence, respect, and compassion across faith. Those lessons shaped my deep appreciation for diversity and the importance of standing up for one another. And here in Michigan, since I came to this country, stayed in Dearborn since 22 years, I've continued that commitment through years of work in nonprofits, studying at UVM Dearborn in criminal justice, and serving at interfaith committees in mosques. What we witnessed last meeting was not simply a resident raising a concern. It was more an attempt to spread some Islamophobic terms. But let's not forget, this is not the first time that the mayor has shown his courage that many of us witnessed on how, in the past, he supported other minority groups where he personally received and faced backlash from his own community and his own faith and cultural circle solely because he stood up against hate and made sure Dearborn is inclusive for everyone. It's the way how I saw it and the way how my high school kids saw it, that was refusing to tolerate any hate and making sure Dearborn is inclusive. So refusing to tolerate hate is not exclusivity. At a time when our country is facing polarization, I speak also as a fellow in the Democracy Rising program, which is a national program. I've learned how fragile our democracy can be if we don't defend it. Standing up against hate, again, is not an infringement on free speech. It is an act of leadership and a call for coexistence.
You have 30
That's
seconds.
exactly what the mayor did. For me, this is not about supporting only the mayor. It's about defending the values of our city. As a single mom who doesn't have a family here, I consider this community as my family, and I want to raise my 3 kids in a community that makes sure no hate is tolerable. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council.
Thank you. Mr. Joseph Bernero? Yes, sir, you're next.
Good evening. Joseph Rajo, 9958 Frederick Street. Proud to say that I sit on 2 of your commissioner positions in the city. I am the proud son, I should say, of immigrant parents. My mother came from Bosnia-Herzegovina. She was Eastern Orthodox religion. My father proudly came from Yemen, a devout Muslim and a Hajj. I was born of 3 worlds. My mother's, my father's, and born here in America. I'm very proud of my station in this country. And I take offense that when immigrants who are under fire now, just as they were, my parents were under fire when they came to this country, by a specious government in Washington, and the vile things that come out of their mouths every day, targeting immigrants. I stand up against those people. I want to remind people that couple of interesting things for me. I learned here tonight, looking at the 1927-1929 City Council, it had 4 wards, a representative from each one of those wards back then. This is historical, you know, it sets a precedent. But I have to say also, gosh, very proud where I stand. I'm very proud of my mayor, and I'll defend him every damn day of this, every inch of this soil. I will. And I will stand against the good doomsayers that prefer picking pieces and choices out of the U.S. Constitution, completely ignoring the 14th Amendment, which is now under attack because of immigrant status as a born citizen in this country. I don't stand by this government. It promotes hate, and some of its minions are in this audience tonight, and I stand against them as well. I want to thank you. I'm proud of my city. I'm proud of my immigrant parents. And I will never slide away from that importance, allegiance to them. And by the way, I know some of your parents, and I know some of your grandparents too, and I love them as well. I stand with you, Mayor. God bless you.
Thank you. Sharon Dolmage is our last speaker. Jay, one more card.
Sharon Dolmage, 22621 Law Street, Dearborn. I've been a resident for Dearborn a very long time. As a kid, I lived no place longer than 2 years. I moved, I attended 6 different school districts, and when I got married very young, I moved to Dearborn to be with my husband and his family. I want to say Dearborn is my home. It's what I consider my home. I don't miss one thing about any of the places I didn't live more than 2 years, except being able to hop on my horse whenever I felt like it. That's the only thing I miss. This is my home. I love it. I can never see moving away from here. All my friends are here. We raised our kids here. I can look in my yard and I can see the places where I've lived. I'm proud of it. And I just want to say, I know every person sitting up here. One I've known for over 40 years, I want to say. I do not know the religion of one, except for one person on this, sitting up here, of these people. And the only reason I know that is because it was brought up. It's not my business to know what somebody's religion is. As a nurse, when I decided to become a nurse, I decided that I needed to know how to care for people. So I made it my business to take world religion classes so that I could know how to care for people with different religious beliefs and customs. And throughout my 40 years of nursing, I have continued that education, and I learned something new about the customs when people are born, when they're being cared for, and when they die. And I think that's very important. I feel that we should not be discussing religion here, ever. Our role is to see, your role is to see that Dearborn continues to be a viable place. I wasn't going to say a word until I heard Mr. Runco speak and say that. I think that's the most important thing. I would hope that you all continue to do the great job you're doing. I've seen wonderful things happen in the past several years in Dearborn. I am so pleased to see the new construction, the revitalization of the downtown communities,
You have
the
30
parks,
seconds.
the parks, and thank you for what you do, and please continue to do it. And you have my support, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, at this time, that was our final speaker. I do need a motion to entertain to adjourn. Motion by Councilman Al Swafi to adjourn. We are adjourned.